first thing is read yourself. If your children see you reading, it becomes a natural part of their lives. The second thing is to read to them. Now, you don't teach children to read by reading to them, but you do teach them to love books. You teach them the way a book works. You know, some children come into schools and they don't even know the way to hold a book. They can't put a book up the right way because they've never had a book in their house. And those children are behind before they even start school. If our child is used to a book and they know this is the front cover, this is the back cover, you read from the beginning to the end, you read the pages from the top of the page to the bottom, that actually gets them way ahead when they start school. So when you're reading to a child, it's not so much you're teaching them to read, it's teaching them to understand how a book works. And then, of course, you're teaching them words, you're reading words to them. One of the things we know is that it's incredibly important for children to hear rhythm and rhyme. If you want them to be good at reading later on, the more that you use rhythm and rhyme, and there's some wonderful books out there that parents can get. So the old nursery rhymes, for example, seem to be so old hat, but they were really good for getting children to enjoy words and enjoy reading. So the more that children hear good books and timeless writers, the more that they are likely to read. The other thing you can do is, I think children should be taken to libraries fairly early on, and they can walk along or to bookshops and start choosing books. If they can go along and look at the whole list, the whole line, and even if they choose some that are a bit old for them at the time, they'll grow into them. But it's still holding the book that is really important. We know that children who have contact with books early on tend to stick with them, but they don't always. And both of my children had total contact with books, but they've gone in and out. Sometimes they read all the time, sometimes life takes over and they stop reading. They don't read for a long period of time, or they read only textbooks and non-fiction and so on. But if you can get them to really, you know that they'll come back to it. You know, my children have gone away, come back, gone away, come back. And I know when they get time, they'll be with them all the time. They'll be reading a lot more. The thing also about reading and teaching children to read is that there's so much positive about that through their whole life. I read so many books that teach me things about life and dealing with things in my life. I read so many books that just give me pleasure. I read books that if I'm feeling down, I just go and read a Roald Dahl and I feel great straight away. If I feel that I need to really be thoughtful about something, there's a book about it. The children not only get the pleasure, but you get the learning as well. And you get the other points of view that you don't necessarily get by reading. If you read the papers, for example, heaven only knows what you're going to get from the papers. If you read a book, you're getting a whole range of points of view, a whole range of different countries, different places, different people, and I think that is something that we want all our children to have, particularly the way the world is going. We're in a global society. Our children can't be insulated and protected in Australia all their lives, or in America, or in England. They have to be able to work in a whole world and work with everybody in every part of the world, and books will really help you to do that.